In League of Legends, there are various skin series, most of them having their own well-developed universe and story, creating what are basically alternative versions of the champions, much like how Marvel or DC have multiple versions of various characters. In this video, I'll rank all the Aatrox skins by power level, as well as explain their lore within their skin universes. Let's get started. First, we have Victorious Aatrox and DRX Aatrox. Neither of these skins has a universe or story behind them, since Victorious skins are just rewards for ranked players, and World Championship skins are made to celebrate a team's victory. In 8th place, we have Prestige DRX Aatrox. But wait, didn't you just say World Championship skins have no lore? Well, there are some exceptions. After Riot reworked the Prestige skins and decided they would be more than just golden versions of the default skins, they ended up giving them different lore, which is almost always related to beauty and fashion. It's nothing serious or that adds to the skins universe, just a fun twist Riot added to make them more interesting. If you notice, all the new Prestige skins are basically a dripped-out version of the default skins, so it makes sense that their lore is tied to being stylish. The lore of Prestige DRX Aatrox is that he is DRX's #1 fan, and since he's so dripped out and handsome, he grabs everyone's attention during the competitions, to the point where fans of DRX and T1 line up to take pictures with him. But despite all this, he doesn't let the fame get to his head and stays focused on his goal, which is to see his favorite team win the World Championship. So there you have it. He's definitely not a combatant, just a dripped out fan, so he ranks as the weakest on the list. If this were a beauty ranking, he'd be first, but unfortunately, life is tough. In 7th place, we have Hunter Aatrox. The story behind these skins is pretty simple. They're basically pirates in Bilgewater looking to be hired. Every description of these skins highlights the champion's qualities, as if promoting them to potential employers. It's said that Aatrox is calm, professional, and capable of recovering from nearly fatal wounds. Not to mention that he's clearly some kind of aquatic creature, which gives him an advantage in sea situations. Well, he's definitely strong, probably the strongest in this skin series, but still nothing compared to his other skins. You can't compare a pirate to a god-slaying entity, so unfortunately, our Sharkman ranks 7th. In 6th place, we have Mecha Aatrox. The Mecha universe is basically about giant robots built to fight kaiju that are invading the planet. It's hard to gauge the power of these mechas since we don't know the strength of the kaiju, but I'd say they're at least planetary in scale. There's a little animation showing Mecha Scion and Malphite punching each other, and they seem evenly matched. And in Mecha Malphite's description, it says he can turn into a planetary drill, so you can imagine how ridiculously powerful each skin in this series is. The craziest thing is that even though these skins are planetary in scale and quite potent, this one is only 6th on the list because for some reason Riot loves making Aatrox almost godlike in all his skins. Thank goodness, right? The character is badass. Anything less would be disappointing. In 5th place, we have Lunar Eclipse Aatrox. There's a lot of lore about the Lunar Eclipse skins since they're part of the same universe as the Coven, Old Gods, and so on, so there's a lot of story to cover, and I'll save that for a separate video. But what's relevant here is that Kale is an incredibly powerful entity who loves the sun and wants to devour it. Aatrox is completely infatuated with Kale, and his only goal is to receive any kind of affection from her. Yeah, I wish I were joking, but I'm not. Unfortunately, Kaylee only has love for the sun, so she doesn't care about him. Eventually, Kale devours the sun and distributes her power among several beings, thus creating the Eclipse Knights, and Aatrox is one of them. The way we gauge their strength is based on the fact that there are beings called Old Gods, who are extremely powerful, and the Eclipse Knights hunt these gods, and they've even managed to kill some of them, like Mordekaiser. I don't believe each knight is strong enough to solo one of the gods, but it doesn't change the fact that they can kill them, so they're naturally very strong and deserve this spot. In 4th place, we have Odyssey Aatrox. The Odyssey skins depict a universe where everything takes place in space and the cosmos, and the champions are influential individuals from organizations within this galactic civilization. But the power of these skins doesn't just come from intergalactic technology. In this universe, there's something called aura, which is said to be a mysterious golden essence that civilizations use as a vital essence. Aura also greatly enhances those who use it, and it's said that incalculable power is given to those who can wield it on their own. There's a lot of mystery behind aura and the entire Odyssey universe, and it would be interesting to make a video about it. In this universe, Aatrox is a notorious crime lord and one of the main characters. Due to his excessive use of aura, he became disfigured, and his goal is to find the High Priestess Karma to cure him. Because of his excessive use of aura, he's extremely powerful, so I don't need to justify his place on this list. But he's not just powerful in terms of combat. He's also super influential since he has agents like Kha'Zix, who were even hired by Karma, without her knowing that he's a double agent helping Aatrox kidnap her. But still, even without counting his influence, just with the power he gained from Aura, he deserves this spot on the list. Before we get into the top 3, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe, give it a like to support the channel, and thanks for watching. In third place, we have Default Aatrox. This might come as a surprise to many since I placed him ahead of the Odyssey and Lunar Eclipse versions, but I'll try to explain my point. Default Aatrox is extremely powerful, to the point of being one of the strongest creatures in Runeterra. He was one of the few Darkin who resisted Zolani's control. He's so powerful that his fight against Zolani was enough to threaten the entire world, to the point where Targon had to intervene. And that's with Aatrox not even being at full power. He still had the limitations that we know Darkin have, but on the other hand, Zolani had already completed the ritual and regained all her power. Aatrox is also the only character who killed a Celestial, and he's called the God Killer and World Ender. He's just insanely powerful, there's no comparison. He may be strong in the Odyssey version, but it still doesn't compare to this. And in the Lunar Eclipse version even less so. If Default Aatrox were in the Coven universe, he'd probably be an old god, so you can't compare his strength to that of a mere Eclipse Knight. In second place, we have Justicar Aatrox. The Justicar and Arclight skins are from the same universe, and the lore is pretty simple. Every 1,000 years, a divine entity, which in this case is Arclight Vel'Koz, descends from the heavens, choosing worthy warriors to be his incarnate will. These warriors are the Arclights. The Justicars are the leaders of the Arclights. It's said that they are the living embodiments of justice and order. There are only 3 Justicars at the moment: Aatrox, Syndra, and Galio. Aatrox is described as the embodiment of power, as it's his martial prowess that holds back chaos. Just from this summary, you can tell that this is on a completely different scale. It's not like in the Lunar Eclipse skin, where he's just a side character among the gods and more powerful beings. Here, he's very important, and he's literally the embodiment of power. The guy who fights divine creatures and is described as the embodiment of power can't be weak, but he would still lose to our first place contender, Blood Moon Aatrox. The Blood Moon universe revolves around an ancient cult that performs rituals to fuse with demons and gain their power. There are champions who are both cultists and demons, and Aatrox is one of the demons. But here's the thing, he's not just any demon, he's the demon. The Blood Moon isn't just described as a celestial phenomenon, it's described as a cosmic womb. What's the purpose of a womb? To develop something that will be born. What's that something in this case? Our beloved Aatrox. The guy is so badass that he can't be born normally. He needs an ultra-powerful moon to simply bring him into the world. Although in the normal skin he hasn't been born yet, the prestige version is when he's actually born, and the skin's description says the following: Aatrox has been loosed upon the mortal plane, a creature born in the heart of the Blood Moon. He is the progenitor of all demons, and a malignant darkness that will consume the entire world. It's as if Riot was saying that all other Blood Moon skins don't compare to this one, as this is literally the source of the other demons. If you thought that Justicar Aatrox being the embodiment of power was impressive, this one is even more so, as he's basically the embodiment of evil. An entity that was born to destroy everything in existence is clearly the most powerful Aatrox skin. And so, Blood Moon Aatrox ranks first, but that's basically it. See you next time.